Hey guys, this is John here in Los Angeles with the Alpha Channel update for Wednesday, October 9th, 2024. Today we have a Yggdrasil card, a good one, Eden, Magical Youth and Rejuvenation. If you have something to work on, it'll keep you young. If you have a project, something to keep you busy, she looks like she's got a lot to keep her busy. Halderson Yggdrasil deck. I think we're about halfway or maybe even almost done with these. And today we are doing revival number 3. And there's some stuff I wanted to point out about number 2 that I actually kind of forgot to mention. First off, this is in blood on her jacket. Those are the badges. And she's got a gun in her hand that you really kind of can't see either. And what I wanted to point out was, in addition to Cooper being left home alone, the alien is not mentioned again in book 2. And this grandma right here at the beginning, who becomes alive, it doesn't make another appearance. You could, having just read these two, this was my thoughts before I read the third one, which is a little bit reflected, a little bit not. But these two, you could have, this is awful. The first one is decent. The second one is awful because the wrong stakes were raised in the second book. The interpersonal family stakes were focused on and raised in the second book when you needed to raise the physical violence, fear of the unknown stakes. That's what a horror movie is, fear of the unknown, not am I being honest with my sister and my dad. That's not what this is supposed to be. This is a horror movie. This isn't supposed to be intra-family fucking Freudian therapy, 6 feet under bullshit. This could be all at the roadblock. This whole book, this whole story could revolve around the roadblock and everything coming in over the radio. And you could have a gas station on this side, a strip mall on this side, maybe something else over here, a school or anything, a cemetery, urgent care. This could be centered around a roadblock and it would be an awesome story. What it is garbage. It doesn't get better with the second one. So I had mentioned that I had read the first few pages of this yesterday, and I did. And so the part where Martha and Dana have the argument over she didn't even fight back, what was going on, that happened at the first page here in the second book. And when I opened this, I was like, is this really starting with laundry 2 days later? You could have G.I. Joe involved. You could have hazmat. You could have international teams. Think about what you would have if apparently there's 23 cases of these dead coming back to life in one small town. The alien's not even in the second book. And I was thinking, the exorcist has to be the kid's dad, right? Cooper's dad. The snowmobile exorcist running around trailer parks. And I still thought he was the dad here. Here we have 2 pages of Dana. This is 2 days later. So the last one was Sunday. Monday, skip it. Don't even show it. Let's not even talk about what happened. Let's just jump ahead to Tuesday doing laundry in the university dorms. Who the fuck? So here we get back to the roadblock. I was like, oh, really? Maybe we'll do that. Maybe it'll be all roadblock, like something will happen, blah, blah, blah. No, this is just a dad calling his daughter saying, I need to talk to you, but I can't talk right now because I'm on the roadblock. This is where something should be happening, but it's boring, nothing's happening. Then we get this scene of this old lady and this woman who is apparently a reporter. I think she's a new character. I barely remember her from the other ones. She might have had some scenes where she tried to interview the sheriff or something. But now she's a main character, and this old lady wants to confide in her and wants to sell her story because she wants to be rich. But she doesn't really have a story. So I don't know what's going on. They agreed to take care of her, or they're going to interview her or something. And then the next page, Dana's back at the police station. Back at the police station because a lot of excitement happening there. 4 walls. And hey, we've already paid for the set, so let's reuse it. It's a comic book. You don't have to reuse fucking sets. You don't have to reuse characters. Every character can be brand new in a fucking comic book. It doesn't cost money. Jesus Christ. Finally, we get back to what happened to Grandma. This guy's being a CDC agent again, not trying to pick up like teen talent at the local dive bar when he's just visiting town for the most amazing thing that's ever happened in the history of anything happening. All these people are having like boring life bullshit in like fucking Jesus is coming back and you guys are out at the bar. And here they have an argument. They get thrown together by her dad and she's like, I'm not going to sleep with you, blah, blah, blah. She uses like really crass language, just completely out of character. She was a cool white girl who like was ambitious and not a bleach blonde. And now she's I'm not a whore. She's not a thought. This is fucking stupid. I'm wasting my time with this. Here we finally get the alien again. This guy's out feeding the cats. I think this is where Grandma pulled her teeth out, but I also think this is the guy who drives too fast. No, this is the grandma who pulled her teeth out and then his daughter got stabbed in the throat with the pliers. He shows up later on in the book. And there's an alien in his barn, but that's the only appearance it makes. Don't think there's going to be some interesting story there. You get 2 panels of an alien in 3 issues. Fucking, who did this? Your teenage daughter who never wrote anything before? Is that what we're fucking looking at? And here this grandma runs around doing a streak show around town. The old grandma who they couldn't, at the beginning of the last issue, here we had something interesting, right? For the cold open of this half-hour episode is interesting, and the entire rest of it is garbage. Just stupid, doesn't make any sense garbage. So now, back to where we were. Grandma streaking the neighborhood. And the doctor is upset because he had her. So this is the doctor who I guess we've been working with, Ibrahim. And they had just opted to restrain her. But she's gotten away and she's loose and she's flashing everyone her naughty bits. Aren't they pushing the envelope with this comic book revival? Oh, it's so interesting. Here we get, for some reason, she's going up to some rich person's house to interview them and question them. Ibrahim is with them. They're doing some investigation about someone who's supposed to be dead. And here's the funeral for the mom who got stabbed with the pliers. And this advances the story a little bit in that Grandma shows up. Naked Grandma wearing nothing but like a sheet shows up and freaks everybody out and has this reaction over her daughter's corpse that she murdered. Why is there only one of these dead crazy people? Why can't we have 15 of these dead crazy people? You could have had a school bus driver have a heart attack and all the school bus kids are dead and now they're running around the town like fucking zombies eating people and the cops are trying to hold the roadblock but everything's happening in town behind them. But the feds that won't let anyone leave the roadblock. That would be... What the fuck is this? That's why no one fucking reads comics anymore. You guys don't have any fucking balls. So this is the reporter who stumbles down into her basement where she discovers another old dead lady who's like some black magic witchcraft going on. And this looks like the lady she was interviewing, but they had time to set up this witchcraft stuff. This is like a cold open sort of mic drop. Ba ba ba. And then you're supposed to be like, oh my God, what's going to happen next time? But it's fucking dumb. I don't care what's going to happen next time. I'm not going to buy the fourth one. I know the town's not going to be overrun by flesh-eating zombies. I know that's not going to happen. They spent some money on some covers. Okay. It's not getting a fair read. You know what? What did I expect? It's a comic book. You could have anything fucking happen. What did I expect? You could have had anything. The high school gets gassed. Think about the most dangerous people. A prison cemetery. You could have had a lot more dangerous people than a couple old people who pull out their teeth because they wanted to put their dentures in. It was shocking the first time, but in general it's not. And you know what? I went back and listened to this one because I wanted to see just how full of shit I am. I listened to like 4 or 5 hours of it while I was doing shit last night. I'd already listened through the first half, so it wasn't like 4 or 5 hours straight, but fucking holds up. There's some cringe bits. There's some bits that I probably developed a little bit too much, but it fucking holds up, and the violence is pure. And this one is all science fiction. I haven't listened to this one in a while. I'll re-record him again soon enough. Comic book 2 in the description. I do want to talk about things a little bit, especially when it comes to writing. I've been doing a lot of it lately, and I've got a few short stories published. It got really easy to get short stories published after the digital revolution, as it were. The Kindle and the Nook in sort of the turn of the 2010s, 2008 to 2012. It's really sort of the ebook revolution. And America went from 15,000 titles published a year to 300,000 titles published a year. Went to 150, then to 300. And that was every author who had gotten 3 books published but had 8 that weren't published. And legitimate effort put into those 8 that no one wanted. It takes a lot. It's expensive to publish a hardbound book and get it into stores and get it proofread and get it printed and get it shipped. You know, I've been watching this lumberjack, and that wood has to get cut. It has to get floated down a river. It has to get milled. It has to get turned into paper. It has to get proofread 3 and 4 times. You know, I was listening to just the audiobook too. I have repeated lines that I read again and didn't get back and edit out. It's embarrassing, but the work stands. The work is fucking good. And yeah, so I'm happy with that. Writing is about putting your characters into difficult situations and then getting them out of those situations again by being resourceful, by being clever, by being a stand-up person, by doing the right thing, and maybe suffering for it, but also in the end it works out for the best. Those stories aren't old. This story doesn't know where it's going. This story doesn't know what it is. It doesn't know who it's about. I couldn't tell you who this 3rd issue is about, who the main character is. I couldn't have told you who the 2nd one is. They're completely different people. It's like it was written by a completely different person, or the first one got written at a certain point of a person's life, and then the series got picked up. So you created the pitch, maybe did the first issue thumbnails over a period of years, and then suddenly someone said, hey, give me 8 issues of this. And you had to turn around and knock it out in like weeks. And you don't know who these people are. And it happened to be at a really low point in your life when you're on prescription drugs and alcohol. Only a mediocre artist is always at their best. That's the key to writing, is you can keep editing it until it's published. Right now I'm writing and not even editing, I'm just writing. But it's a story I've taken a long time to develop, so I have my characters in a very tricky situation that they're going to have to be very resourceful to get out of. They're going to have to become people they don't want to become. And that's the sacrifice that, that can be an interesting sacrifice to make. It'll be interesting to see if anybody else thinks so. I'm still happy with this. You know, if you can look back at your work 10 years later and say, yeah, I didn't compromise a bit of that. It's perfect. It's exactly what it should be. Then, whether it makes money or not, it would be nice if it made money. Yes. But if I had a bunch of money, I would spend it doing this. So that's priceless. You can't buy that. You can't buy that. You really can't. And yeah, so all right, see you guys tomorrow.